Are you refreshed? Good. Now what?
Hello, hello. Hi, Abraham. Honestly, I today was just deciding I would raise my hand every time as a practice of standing up for myself and advocating for myself and loving myself.
Well, you must be in the vicinity of it because you light it up. In other words, it wasn't a situation where the desire was strong, and you weren't close to it. You're right there in the vicinity of it, so good job in your test. Now get out.
Gosh, I'm just like really tired of being so hard on myself.
Yeah. No reason for it. Logically, it doesn't make sense anymore, does it? It's easy to learn it, though, because people around you are hard on themselves and hard on you. Esther was talking to a friend recently about one of her grandchildren who is really a self-advocate who doesn't care that much what anybody thinks. So she doesn't jump through the hoops like they want her to. And they try hard to break her in the school setting. They want it to be easy. They want everybody to be the same. But she's sure of herself. And it's nice if you can catch the spirit of that when you're young, but most don't. She's not ever going to deviate from that knowing, but most do. And then it takes a little while to get back to it. But the return to alignment is all the sweeter if you have been away from it for a while.
Yeah, so like yesterday I had probably one of the best days of my life, and it's taken me a while to calibrate to this trip. It's my first cruise, first Abraham, first Alaska, and I've just never kind of stepped forward and done this for myself.
Yeah.
And it's just taken, until yesterday I was just determined to line up.
Jerry said to Esther a lot about you all, about grandchildren, about people he was meeting along the way. I just want them to see what the options are. Not do for anyone or not rescue anyone, but just do the best job of giving options. And so when you find yourself selecting an option, lining up with it, and then manifesting it, it's pretty empowering, isn't it?
It's amazing. I found a trail up the mountain and walked around Dewey Lower Lake, it's called, and it was just magic. And like the spirit in the mountain called me, and it was just one of the highlights of my life. So it's just like I'm getting better at this stuff. So it's new to me, but
that's really the thing that we're most interested in visiting with you about a little bit, because you trust nature, you trust the beasts, you trust them, and you know why? Because they're trustable, they're trustworthy, because they're mostly tuned in, tapped in, turned on. Domesticated ones start to act like you all do, but you don't trust humans as much, because insecure ones pick fights and poke at you, and it's easy to calibrate to that, isn't it? But now you have a viable, really practical and easily utilizable workaround, meaning that you now know that it was never a good idea to calibrate to them to begin with. And so now more and more, as you're calibrating to your own inner being, you garner your own stability, and then they are irrelevant to you in terms of stability. They're just present to you in terms of the way that they are in your life in enjoyable ways. When you're not depending upon them, they're much more easy to enjoy. All right, here it comes. This is really good. We started the gathering this way a little bit, but you are asking for it in such a strong way that, if you don't mind, we're going to have a conversation about the mix of energies and thoughts that surround you. You are someone who picks up on that stuff a lot. Someone might call you an empath, sensitive to others. Have you ever heard it out loud, or have you resonated with that before? Well, what that means is you hear what people are meaning through their vibration. And there's enough chaos around that when you hear it, it is upending and unsettling, which sort of makes you want to retreat from it. But you don't want to retreat from it because you want to mix it up, and that's where all the action is. So that's what we've been sort of leading to in all of these hours that we've been together. Deliberate creators, like you all, deliberate creators, must come to the place where you understand that you're creating through thought, and that this is a vibrational universe, and that the law of attraction is responding to vibrations. And you got to get control of your vibrations. And you can't get control of your vibrations if you are aware of so many people who are vibrating all over the place. You have to have something that's stable. In essence, like this chair is giving Esther a little stability in this motion that is here. And your inner being is like that. It's the stability that you can count on. And then everything else sort of falls into place. You have a lot of people, most of you, clamoring to be the replacement for your inner being. And none of them are good at it because none of them were ever supposed to be that. And so it's just going to get easier and easier for you, for all of you, now that you have that under your belt. Something specific you want to talk about?
Yeah, it's a big transition for me. And
big transition from what to what?
From feeling comfortable and safe and unsure and not making decisions.
But what makes a person feel uncomfortable? What is the thing that causes you to feel the most uncomfortable as you've been moving through life experience? Not the mountain trail, not out there in nature, not out there where it's magical. Where are you uncomfortable? Around people who are having thoughts about all kinds of things, maybe even you, who are not anchored or tethered or reaching for or calibrated to source energy. So calibrating to someone like that's not such a good idea. In the early days, we always offered this analogy. So you're walking along a mountain ledge and it's not very wide and you're not really all that stable. It's new to you. You don't feel that comfortable there. And there are two people there with you. One is wobbly and frightened and the other is stable and secure, like a mountain goat almost. Which one of them are you glad is there? And so this is the analogy that we are offering in order to help you to realize that in our analogy, all of the people that you've been looking to for stability are like the wobbly one, and the mountain goat is your own inner being. What we're saying to you, really, we want to be very blunt about it, is the reason that it has felt unstable is because you've been looking for stability in the wrong places, looking for love in the wrong places. Yeah. So what's the right place? Now you know. So go back to what you were saying. It's a big transition from what to what? We'll play
I'm
with you.
making more decisions day to day, going on this trip.
Yes.
I'm going back to school.
Yes.
This whole trip, and as I make more decisions, like I just can't quite calibrate it within my body. Like I'm nervous. It's been butterflies in my solar plexus this whole time, and I just want to really...
That's when you ask yourself, right, I'm feeling what I'm feeling. Is it lower half of the chart, like fear and anxiety, or is it upper half of the chart, anticipation and excitement?
It's a little bit of both.
Yeah, but not at the same time. Sometimes it's one and sometimes it's the other. So let's say it's a little fear and anxiety. So you just soothe yourself by saying, that's natural. It's how I've been trending. It's not where I'm headed now. Now I understand it better. And if when you feel it, it's exhilaration and excitement, feels like adventure, not danger, then acknowledge that. And it's just that soft acknowledgement, step by step, that gives you the then trending toward constant or more steady stability.
Thank you.
And aren't manifestations wonderful that confirm where you are? And so nothing wrong with there being a manifestational realization, a manifestation that evidences where you are. That's what happened. You came on this cruise. It manifested, and you can feel that. But it's also nice to have something before it manifests that you have in your awareness, like this emotion is upper half of the scale rather than lower half of the scale. And so you don't need the manifestations to keep gathering your confidence. Having an awareness of what emotion you're feeling is, and then acknowledging why you're feeling that. That's really helpful. You've got a handle on this. You'll never go back. There's no regression. You will never go back to where you were before. It cannot happen. You can't have come this far and know this much and ever go back. It's just going to get better and better and better.
Can't wait.
Yeah. That's the way it is. Yeah.